Lesson 4. HTML5 and CSS. Introduction. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it is defined as: hypertext is effectively a text within a text. It describes documents that contain links which allow us to jump to other places in the document or to another document. Markup language is a language understood by computers, designed to essentially describe web pages and make the text you use more interactive. Hence, HTML is a markup language which is used for creating attractive web pages with the help of styling, and which looks in a nice format on a web browser. An HTML document is made of many HTML tags, and each HTML tag contains different content. HTML files consist of two things, that is, the content and the tags that format it for proper display on web pages. It can be used by technologies such as cascading style sheets, CSS. HTML, Hypertext Markup Language, and CSS, Cascading Style Sheets, are two of the core technologies for building web pages. HTML provides the structure of the page, CSS the layout for a variety of devices. Along with graphics and scripting, HTML and CSS are the basics of building web pages and web applications. What is HTML5? HTML5 is a markup language used to structure and present content on the World Wide Web. It is a fifth and latest version of HTML. It is a markup language used to structure and present content on the World Wide Web. HTML5 is more friendly and supports drag and drop effect. It also supports the traditional HTML and XHTML style syntax and other new features in its markup, new APIs, XHTML, and error handling. The main features of HTML5 is that it allows you to draw shapes such as circles, triangles, and rectangles, and shorter document type declaration. History of HTML. HTML was created by Tim Berners-Lee in 1991. The first ever version of HTML was HTML 1.0. But the first standard version was HTML 2.0, published in 1995. HTML 2.0 contains all the features of HTML 1.0 along with that few additional features which remained as the standard markup language for designing. After the creation of HTML 2.0 in January 1997, HTML 3.2 was endorsed by the W3 consortium, including significant browsers such as Netscape and Microsoft. HTML 3.2 included tables, applets, text flow around images, subscripts, and superscripts. HTML 4.0 version was created in 1999, included cascading style sheets, CSS, which allowed aspects such as text, color, font, and backgrounds to be easily altered. This version is widely used and very successful version before HTML 5.0 was released. HTML 5.0 is said to be the extended version of HTML 4.01, which was published in 2012. HTML tools. While creating an HTML document, you need some basic tools. These tools are helpful in finding the resources you need for your projects. There are two basic tools that are required for creating an HTML document. They are: Editor. Text editor is used to edit HTML document. It allows you to edit or compose HTML documents. For example, Notepad, WordPad, Sublime Text, etc. Browser. Web browser is used to view or display your HTML documents. Some common web browsers are Microsoft Edge, Internet Explorer, Opera, Mozilla Firefox, etc. Elements of HTML. An HTML file is made of elements. These elements are responsible for creating web pages and define content in that web page. An element consists of the opening tag and a closing tag with content in between. Some elements are empty, that is, they do not have a closing tag. For example, image is an empty tag which you use to embed images on a web page. Tags. An HTML tag is a piece of markup language used to indicate the beginning and end of an HTML element in an HTML document. It helps web browsers convert HTML documents into web pages. The types of tags used in the HTML document are responsible to tell a web browser to do something. Follow the instruction instead of just displaying text. HTML tags contain three main parts: opening tag, content, and closing tag. The tag names are enclosed in between angle brackets or a less than and a greater than symbol. Less than and greater than. For example, angular bracket head, angular bracket slash head. Here, angular bracket head is the opening tag and angular bracket slash head is the closing tag. Note that closing tag has the same text as the opening tag but has an additional slash character. Slash symbol tend to interpret this as the end or close character. Container and empty tags. In HTML, there are two kinds of tags, container and empty. 1. The container tag always wraps around text or graphics and comes in a set with an opening and a closing. For example, angular bracket HTML opening tag, angular bracket slash HTML closing tag. 2. The empty tags consist of only a single tag rather than a pair of tags. Example, image, HR, BR, etc. There is no closing angular bracket slash image tag and no inner content. This is because an image element doesn't wrap content to affect it. Its purpose is to embed an image in the HTML page in the place it appears. Attributes. HTML attributes are special words which provide additional information about the elements, or attributes are the modifier of the HTML element. Each element or tag can have attributes, which defines the behavior of that element. They should always be applied with start tag with its name and value pair. For example, angular bracket p color is equal to double quotes red, angular bracket slash p. Structure of an HTML document. The basic structure of an HTML page is given below. It contains the essential building block elements upon which all web pages are created. Angular bracket HTML, angular bracket head, angular bracket title. This section shows the title, angular bracket slash title, angular bracket slash head, angular bracket body. This section shows the body of text. For example, web page content goes here. Angular bracket slash body, angular bracket slash HTML. The basic structure of an HTML document consists of the following. Angular bracket HTML. This is called the HTML root element. All other elements are contained within it. It tells the browser that the page will be formatted in HTML. Angular bracket head. The angular bracket head element surrounds all the special behind-the-scenes elements of web document. Most of these elements do not get displayed directly on the web page. HTML elements used inside the angular bracket head element include angular bracket style, angular bracket title, angular bracket base, angular bracket no script, angular bracket script, angular bracket meta, and angular bracket link. Angular bracket body. The body tag is used to enclose all the visible content of a web page. In other words, the body content is what the browser will show on the front end. Heading tag. The heading tag is used to define the headings of a page. There are 6 levels of headings, that is H1, H2, H3, H4, H5 and H6 defined by HTML. The H1 defines the highest level and H6 defines the least important heading. For example, HTML, head, title, HTML headings, /title, /head, body, H1 heading 1, /H1, H1 heading 2, /H2, H3 heading 3, /H3, body, /HTML. Paragraph tag. The Angular P tag defines a paragraph of text. It is a block level element and always starts on a new line. Paragraphs are basically blocks of similar content, images, links, etc. grouped together and displayed on a web page. The paragraph element has a starting P tag and an ending /P tag. In paragraph tag, a line attribute is used to set the alignment of the paragraph, such as left, right, center, and justify with respect to the page size. Angular bracket p-align is equal to double quotes left. It aligns the text from left side. Angular bracket p-align is equal to double quotes right. It aligns the text from right side. Angular bracket p-align is equal to double quotes center. It aligns the text in center. Angular bracket p-align is equal to double quotes justify. It aligns the text from both margins, that is left and right. For example, Angular bracket HTML, Angular bracket head, Angular bracket title, paragraphs in HTML, Angular bracket /title, Angular bracket /head, Angular bracket body. Angular bracket H1, HTML, Angular bracket /H1, Angular bracket P. The P elements act as a container for the text between the start tag P and the end tag /P. You don't need to give the end tag as it is implied by the context P tag, Angular bracket /P, Angular bracket /body, Angular bracket /HTML. HR tag. The Angular bracket HR tag is used for creating a horizontal line in HTML document. This is also called a horizontal rule in HTML. It is an empty tag and does not require an end tag. For example, Angular bracket HTML, Angular bracket head, Angular bracket title, web page designing using HTML, Angular bracket /title, Angular bracket /head, Angular bracket body, Angular bracket H1, designing a website, Angular bracket /H1, Angular bracket HR, Angular bracket P. This is my website. The language used to design this website is HTML and CSS. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language and CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. Angular bracket /P, Angular bracket /body, Angular bracket /HTML. B, I, and U tags. Font style tags changes the appearance of the text. Angular bracket B, Angular bracket /B tag. This tag is used when you want to create bold text. Angular bracket I, Angular bracket /I tag. This tag is used when you want your text in italics. Angular bracket U, Angular bracket /U tag. This tag is used when you want to create underlined text. For example, Angular bracket HTML, Angular bracket head, Angular bracket title, Angular bracket B, Angular bracket I, and Angular bracket U tags, Angular bracket /title, Angular bracket /head, Angular bracket body. Angular bracket H2, how to make our text bold, italics, and underlined. angular bracket /h2, angular bracket HR, angular bracket center, angular bracket B, angular bracket U, making text bold, italics, and underlined in HTML5, angular bracket /U, angular bracket /B, angular bracket center, angular bracket P, angular bracket I, angular bracket U, HTML5, angular bracket /U, contains several elements for defining text with a special meaning, angular bracket /I, angular bracket /P. Angular bracket P formatting elements were designed to display special types of text such as bold, italic, underlined, smaller, superscript, subscript, etc. Angular bracket B. The HTML B element defines bold text without any extra importance. Angular bracket /B, angular bracket I. The HTML I element defines a part of text in an alternate voice or mood. The content inside is typically displayed in italic. Angular bracket /I, angular bracket /P, angular bracket /body, angular bracket /HTML. Cascading Style Sheet CSS. CSS or Cascading Style Sheet is the standard style sheet language of web used to style or format the layout of an HTML document. CSS is not a programming language or markup language. It is a style sheet language used with HTML to change look of default HTML elements like colors, backgrounds, font size, font family, width, height, etc. HTML can only build web page structure. CSS can style HTML. Thus, CSS is used to enhance the look of HTML. This style sheet language also allows you to add effects or animations to your website. You can use it to display some CSS animations like click button effects, spinners or loaders, and animated backgrounds. Without CSS, your website will appear as a plain HTML page. CSS syntax. CSS syntax or CSS code is written in style tag or external CSS file. CSS syntax is started with CSS selector followed by declaration block, that is curly braces. Inside declaration block, property is to value pair is used. Colon is used to separate property and value. To add next property value pair, use semicolon. Only last semicolon is option in declaration block. CSS syntax is not case sensitive, but it is recommended to prefer lowercase. P, curly bracket open, color, colon red, semicolon, border, colon 1px, solid blue, semicolon, curly bracket, close. P, selector, color, property, red, value, border, property, 1px, solid blue, value. Declaration block. CSS brings style to your web pages by interacting with HTML elements. Elements are the individual HTML components of a web page. Consider the given example. In HTML, a paragraph might look like this. Angular bracket P. Look at the paragraph in HTML document, angular bracket /P. If you want to make this paragraph appear red, bold, and underlined, you have to use the following CSS code. P, curly bracket open, color, colon, red, semicolon, font weight, colon, bold, semicolon, text, decoration, colon, underline, semicolon, curly bracket, closed. In the above example, P is called the selector that specify which HTML element in the CSS styling will affect. The selector is written to the left of the first curly brackets in CSS. The information between curly brackets is called a declaration, and it contains properties and values that are applied to the selector. Properties are things like font size, color, and margins, while values are the settings for those properties. In the example above, color, font weight, and text decoration are the properties, and red, bold, and underline are the values. Methods of applying CSS. CSS can be added to HTML document in three ways. Inline, by using the style attribute inside HTML elements. Internal, by using a style element in the head section. External, by using a link element to link to an external CSS file. The most common way to add CSS is to keep the style in external CSS files. Inline. An inline CSS is used to apply a unique style to a single HTML element while that element is present in the body section. The style attribute is applied along with that single element in continuation. So, inline CSS is present just next to the element it selects. For example, angular bracket h1 style is equal to double quotes color colon red hello world angular bracket slash h1. This will make that specific paragraph red. Internal or embedded. Internal CSS is used when the whole page has one unique style for each element. It applies the CSS on a single page and hence also known as embedded CSS. It can include in the top of the document. The internal CSS includes within the angular bracket style, angular bracket slash style tag, and this style tag is included in the head section. For example, angular bracket HTML, angular bracket head, angular bracket title, CSS example, angular bracket slash title, angular bracket style, h1, curly bracket open, color, colon blue, semicolon, curly bracket closed, angular bracket slash style, angular bracket slash head, angular bracket body, angular bracket h1, internal or embedded style, angular bracket h1, angular bracket slash body, angular bracket HTML. External. An external style sheet is used to define the style for multiple HTML pages. We need to create separate CSS files that can be written in any text editor. The files must not contain any HTML code and must be saved with a .css extension and later link them to HTML. For example, we can create a CSS file like this one, style.css. Here is what the style.css file looks like. Body, curly bracket open, background color, colon, powder blue, semicolon, curly bracket closed. h1, curly bracket open, color, colon red, semicolon, curly bracket closed. P, curly bracket open, color, colon blue, semicolon, curly bracket closed. Then we can import style.css to HTML with the angular bracket link tag in the angular bracket head section of each HTML page like below. Angular bracket HTML, angular bracket head, angular bracket link rel is equal to double quotes style sheet, href is equal to double quotes styles.css. Background properties. CSS background property is used to define the background effects on element. It is a shorthand property, which means that it allows you to write multiple CSS properties in one declaration. Some of the background properties are given below. Background color. The background color property sets the color of the background. Syntax, background color, colon, color, semicolon. Color can be the actual color name like red, yellow, green, etc. Hexadecimal code like hash, FF, FF, FF. RGB values like RGB 255, 255, 255. HSL values, etc. For example, body, curly bracket open, background color, hash F0E68C semicolon curly bracket close. Background image. The background image sets an image at the background. Some popular image extension like JPG, PNG, GIF, and SVG can be used for background images. To set the image of background, use URL path of image. You should also set the width and height of the background image. For example, angular bracket style, curly bracket open, height 200px semicolon, background image URL image.png semicolon curly bracket closed, angular bracket / style. Background position. The background position property is used to control the position of the background image. It is the combination of background position X and background position Y. The different positions can be top, bottom, left, right, and center. The default position of the background is left top. For example, body, curly bracket open, background image, URL, double quotes, java.png, semicolon, background position, center, semicolon, curly bracket closed. Border properties. The CSS border is a shorthand property used to set the border of an element. This property is used to specify the style, color, and size of the border of an element. The CSS border properties are given below. Border style property is used to specify the border type which you want to display on the web page. There are some border style values which are used with border style property to define a border. Syntax: border style, value, semicolon. The border style property can have from 1 to 4 values such as the top border, right border, bottom border, and the left border. The following values are allowed. None. It does not define any border. Dotted. It is used to define a dotted border. Dashed. It is used to define a dashed border. Solid. It is used to define a solid border. Double. It defines two borders with the same border width value. Groove. It defines a 3D grooved border. Effect is generated according to border color value. Ridge. It defines a 3D ridged border. Effect is generated according to border color value. Inset. It defines a 3D inset border. Effect is generated according to border color value. Outset. It defines a 3D outset border. Effect is generated according to border color value. Border color. The border color property sets the color of the 4 borders. There are 3 methods to set the color of the border. Name. It specifies the color name. For example, blue. RGB. It specifies the RGB value of the color. For example, RGB 255, 255, 255. Hex. It specifies the hex value of the color. For example, hash FF0000. There is also a border color named transparent. If the color of border is not set, it is inherited from the color property of the element. Text properties. CSS text is content on the website. In simple terms, the words or vocabulary which appears on the website is text in CSS. Text can be sentence, paragraph, body, lines, context, topic, or subject. CSS text formatting properties is used to format text and style text. These properties can work on individual element like angular bracket P, angular bracket H1, etc. You can set following text properties of an element. Text color. CSS text color property defines the color of the text. The text color can be in actual color name, that is red, hex value, hash FF0000, or in RGB value, that is red, green and blue, like RGB 0, 255, 0. Syntax: color, color name, hex underscore code, RGB, RR, BB. Text shadow. Text shadow property creates a shadow around the text. Syntax: text shadow, horizontal size, vertical size, color name. You can specify the horizontal size, vertical size and shadow color for the text. Text align. Text align property is used to align text in left, center, right and justify. In justified alignment, line is stretched such that left and right margins are straight. The default property of text align is left. Syntax: text align, alignment type. Text direction. The direction property in CSS selects the direction of the text. By default, the direction of text is always left to right. The direction property sets the direction of the text in CSS. Syntax: direction, RTL, LTR, semicolon. The property LTR changes the direction of text from left to right, and this is default value, and RTL changes the direction of text from right to left. Text decoration. The text decoration property is used to add or remove decorations of text such as underline, overline, line through, and none. Text decoration can have text decoration line, text decoration color, and text decoration style. Syntax: text decoration, decoration type, semicolon. Text transformation. CSS text transformation property is used to change the case of text from uppercase or lowercase. It can be uppercase, lowercase, or capitalize. Capitalize is used to change the first letter of each word to uppercase. Syntax: text transform, type. Text indent. The text indent property is used to change default indentation of CSS text. Text indent changes the position of first word of first line in right direction or left direction. If text indent is negative, it will move towards left and overflow from document. Syntax: text indent, size. The size can be in px, cm, pt. Letter and word spacing. CSS letter spacing property is used to specify the space between the characters of the text, while the word spacing property is used to specify the space between the words of the line. Syntax: letter spacing, size, semicolon. Word spacing, size, semicolon. The size can be given in px. Line height. The line height property is used to set the space between the lines. The size can be given in px. Syntax: line height, size, semicolon. Let us consider the given example. Angular bracket HTML, angular bracket head, angular bracket style, h1, curly bracket open, color, red, semicolon, text transform, uppercase, semicolon, text align, center, semicolon, text shadow, 3px, 1px, yellow, semicolon, direction, RTL, border style, double, semicolon, curly bracket closed, p, curly bracket open, color, blue, semicolon, text indent, 80px, semicolon, text align, left, semicolon, curly bracket closed, angular bracket slash style, angular bracket slash head, angular bracket body, angular bracket h1 cascading style sheet CSS, angular bracket slash h1. Angular bracket p cascading style sheet is the standard style sheet language of web, used to style or format the layout of an HTML document. CSS is a style sheet language used with HTML to change look of default HTML elements like colors, backgrounds, font size, font family, width, height, etc. HTML can only build web page structures. CSS can style HTML. Thus, CSS is used to enhance look and feel of HTML. Angular bracket /p, angular bracket /body, angular bracket /HTML. Font properties. The font property in CSS is a shorthand property that sets all the different properties of an element's font. It is used to control the look of your text. For example, assigning a font family, applying bold or italic formatting, changing the size, and many more. The font size and font family values are required. CSS font family. The font family property specifies the font for an element. It accepts a list of different font families. Syntax: font family, family name, generic family, semicolon. There are two types of font family names. 1. Generic family. A group of font families with a similar look such as serif, monospace, sans serif, cursive, fantasy, etc. 2. Font family. A scientific font family such as Times, Arial, Courier, etc. For example, H1 curly bracket open, font family, double quotes, Times New Roman, comma, Times, comma, serif, semicolon, curly bracket closed. Font size. The CSS font size property is used to set the size of the font. Font size can use multiple units like px, em, %, small, medium, large, inherit, unset, initial, etc. By default, the size of text is 16px and 16px is equal to 1 em. Syntax: font size, value, semicolon. For example, p curly bracket open, font size, 14px, semicolon, curly bracket closed. Font style. The CSS font style property is used for styling the font text. Some values for font style are normal, by default, italic, to make the text appear italic, cursive in nature, oblique, to make text appear oblique, that is sloping or slanted or bent. Syntax: font style, normal, italic, oblique. For example, H1 curly bracket open, font style, italic, semicolon, curly bracket closed. Font weight. The CSS font weight defines the font boldness or density of the text. It also controls the thickness or compactness or heaviness of the text. Syntax: font weight, normal, bold, bolder, lighter, 100, semicolon. For example, H1, curly bracket open, font weight, thick, semicolon, curly bracket closed. Font variant. The CSS font variant property is used to set a small cap font for a particular text. These are the set of properties that provide control over stylistic font features. Syntax: font variant, normal, small caps, semicolon. For example, P curly bracket open, font variant, small caps, semicolon, curly bracket closed. Margin properties. Margins are used to create space around elements outside of any defined borders. The CSS margin property defines the space around an HTML element. We can set the different sizes of margins for individual sides such as top, right, bottom, and left. Margin properties can have the following values. First, length in cm, px, pt, etc. Second, width of the element. Third, margin calculated by the browser. CSS has properties for specifying the margin for each side of an element. Margin top. It is used to set the top margin of an element. Margin right. It is used to set the right margin of an element. Margin bottom. It is used to specify the amount of margin to be used on the bottom of an element. Margin left. It is used to set the width of the margin on the left of the desired element. Syntax: margin, size, semicolon. For example, P, curly bracket open, margin top, 120px, semicolon, margin right, 120px, semicolon, curly bracket closed. Let us consider the given example. Angular bracket HTML, angular bracket head, angular bracket style, h1, curly bracket open, font family, Rockwell, semicolon, font variant, small caps, semicolon, color, blue, semicolon, text shadow, 3px, 1px, yellow, semicolon, curly bracket closed. P, curly bracket open, font family, Comic Sans MS, semicolon, color, green, semicolon, margin top, 120px, semicolon, margin bottom, 120px, semicolon, margin right, 50px, semicolon, margin left, 50px, semicolon, text align, justify, text indent, 60px, semicolon, curly bracket closed, angular bracket slash style, angular bracket slash head, angular bracket body, angular bracket h1. What is artificial intelligence? Angular bracket slash h1, angular bracket p. Artificial intelligence is a wide-ranging branch of computer science concerned with building smart machines that are capable of performing tasks which require human intelligence. With artificial intelligence, you do not need to pre-program a machine to do some work. Despite that, you can create a machine with programmed algorithms which can work with own intelligence, and that is the awesomeness of AI. Angular bracket slash p. Angular bracket slash body, angular bracket slash HTML. Output. 1. Fill in the blanks.